Well, hello and welcome to the Sacred Heart Activation. How to unlock the law of attraction in 2015 so that you can manifest the desires of your heart. I'm Gabriel Gonzalez, and if I seem a little bit stiff right now, it's because I feel a little bit overwhelmed and a little excited right now as I'm connecting with you. Overwhelmed because this is the first time I actually do one of these webinars on during the Christmas time holiday from my home. I've just had an internet connected just a week ago. So in case you don't know, for the past 2 years, I have not had internet at home. I purposely kept my internet just at work so that I could have a wireless free, that's kind of a weird looking word, wireless free space at home. But I've been having this longing to take my work to other countries and experience greater freedom to travel. So I've decided to release and let go of my office as part of my lifestyle changes for 2015. And so I now have what is called a home office. And so this gets to be the very first event, the first time I get to do one of these events live. So welcome. Thank you very much for showing up for today's webinar. I got some really exciting stuff planned for you. And let me just kind of give you a bit of a rundown of what it is that I'm going to be sharing with you over the next hour or so. So my intention today is to help you answer some key questions about how to clear the negativity that you experienced during 2014, during this year that for many people that I've talked to has been probably one of the most intense years that they've had. We're also going to be exploring about different ways about how to unblock this thing that we call the law of attraction, so that if it hasn't been working for you this year, so that it finally gets to work for you in 2015. Then also I'm going to be sharing with you the steps to the manifesting from the heart, how to manifest the lives you love from your heart. What are the steps to do that? I'm also going to be giving you a gift and an offer at the end of our time together. And the last 20 minutes or so, I really want to move it from the sort of concept, the world concepts and ideas to actually more the experiential, by guiding you through what I call the Sacred Heart Activation, which is a very powerful process, and give you also a couple of tools that are going to help you connect with that inner sense of joy that is ultimately what I believe what really drives this thing that we call attraction. All right, so I want to come back here to the video. So as we dive into our time together, how about if we just take a few moments to really just open our hearts and to just get more present with each other and to create the conditions where we can open our minds and open our hearts to new insights, to new ideas that will allow us to just simply become more receptive to what is really wanting to unfold in our lives right now, and become receptive to insights. You know, the world has changed. Our world, your world has changed one idea at a time. So if you walk out of here today just with a new idea, a new tool that you can apply this coming year in 2015, or as we get down to the end of this year, 2014, so that you can connect with that power of the heart that allows you to create a new reality, then I'll be really, really, really happy. So the best way I know how to do this is by taking a few deep breaths together into the heart. So how about if we just close your eyes if you want to, and then just put a hand, it doesn't matter which one, on your heart. And we're going to take 3 deep breaths straight into the heart. And as you breathe into the heart, allow yourself to just release any unnecessary physical tension. And once again, deep inhale into the heart. And then releasing and letting go of any unnecessary mental, repetitive thought, thinking, tension that accumulates during the day. And then finally, deep inhale into the heart. And you can release and let go of any unnecessary emotional tension. Good, and then just notice it's different. What's it change? I don't know about you, but for me, I can already feel a lot more present, and that sense of feeling of overwhelm that I had at the beginning of the webinar just 5 minutes ago, it's already almost gone, and I'm starting to feel more at home in my body. So how are you feeling that's different? As you notice, the process that we just did, even though it was quite rather quickly, all we did was just really take a moment to observe what was already there and to allow it and almost to reveal it. So what if this thing that I call releasing or clearing the negativity that you experience or may have experienced during 2014 begins there, begins by literally calling it out, expressing it, sitting with it, embracing it. I remember I had one of my greatest teachers and mentors, Michael Bernard Beckwith, once told me that you cannot release anything that you're not willing to first embrace. So you cannot transcend anything that you're really willing to first embrace. So to answer the key question, the question about what is it that you need to do if you want to clear out the negativity that you may have experienced during this year of 2014, it begins by just simply looking at this thing that you call negative. And one of the best ways that you can do that is by just simply taking some kind of an inventory. As we head for this time of year, as you know, today we're celebrating the winter solstice. And if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, here in South Africa, we're celebrating the summer solstice. So what we're really celebrating is the return of the light. And so it's about bringing light into what happened this year. So the key question that you may want to be asking yourself during this time as we kind of move into a deeper place of the heart and kind of stopping the busyness of the year is to just really ask yourself, what is it that happened this year that you're proud of, and really begin there. I remember I walked into my office, or my ex-office, about a week ago, and the lady, Vanessa, that I rented my office from, the minute I walked in, she was not in a good mood. She did receive some bad news, and so she was quite emotional. And I remember she saying to me, "Gabriel, this has been the worst year of my life." And then she just went on to just start telling me all the reasons why her year had been the worst year that she ever had. And I just listened, and after she kind of got done expressing everything, we got to a point where I just simply said to her, "Well, can I remind you some of the things that also happened this year that you may not be aware of?" And she was like, "Sure." And then I went on to tell her about how this year she had finally, after, I don't know, like 7-8 years, finally her divorce had gone through. She got to see one of her children that she'd been kept away for the past 5 years. She inherited a home. She came across, she built her business to the next steps of clarity in building her business. She decluttered, she let go of so many things that were holding her past, and this was the year that she really stepped into her power. So in the middle of all these negative things that she was talking about, I was able to just reflect back to her some of the things that she had forgotten about. So that's always a wonderful place, So what if you could just take the time, as perhaps after this webinar or over the next few days, to just really sit with all the stuff that happened this year and take an inventory and look at everything that you learned. I know that for many of us, when we began this year, at least that's true for me, I sort of began this year with all these expectations of everything that I was going to accomplish. And I'm going to be honest with you, I would say probably about 60% of the things that I had planned for this year did not come through. There were workshops that people didn't attend. There were events that I had to cancel at the last moment or emergencies. There were many things that just didn't really quite work out the way I had planned. But at the same time, there were so many new things that showed up that were not in my plan. So what was that for you? What was it that happened this year? Who were the new people that came into your life? Who were the new people? And who were the people that perhaps you had to let go of? So the invitation that I'm extending to you is to, before you're willing to really release this year, this 2014, because you're going to have to anyway. In another week, we're going to be into 2015. In another week, in another 21 days. Sorry, 11 days. We're going to be transitioning into a new year. But before you do, take a moment to reflect and take an inventory. Take an inventory and reflect on all the great, amazing stuff that happened. And most especially, what is it that you can be grateful for? What is it that you can appreciate that happened this year? Who were the new people that came into your life? What were the new lessons that you experienced? If you had to just simply share with somebody what was the biggest thing you learned this year about yourself or about life or about your business or whatever that may be, what would that be? And so the process that has really always worked for me is just beginning by looking at everything that happened in the year, and literally you can create a list of where you can put on one side what you would call the negative things, and then on the other side, all the positive things that happened. And then look at it all together so that it all kind of fits into one big pocket. And then look at this big pocket and then kind of let go of that line, that division line that makes it bad or wrong, and realize that you could just shake that whole bucket and allow you to see that perhaps some of the things that you call negative that perhaps didn't work out for you, perhaps maybe they were a blessing in disguise. Or perhaps they were the invitation for you to step more powerfully. And I'll tell you what I mean. There's a beautiful expression I've heard. That says, every master was first a disaster. So if there's areas in your life that are still a disaster, well, perhaps the disaster is there as part of the inventory so that you can look at the quality that is really wanting to emerge. Or perhaps if you lost somebody, for example, you ended a relationship this year, or somebody completely walked out of your life this year, you may want to look at, well, once this person left my life, who else came in? Who else came in? And oftentimes, I find that life has a way of always keeping things in balance. So sometimes when I've experienced either the physical loss or just the actual life of a person in my life, I notice that the quality of that person always comes back to me, either in a new person or I end up embodying that quality. Like I remember when my father passed away, 27 years ago. I remember within about 3-4 months, I met a person who embodied the same qualities as my father did. Who basically became like a paternal figure. And then years later, that person also transitioned and passed away. And what I realized is that I found myself now having those qualities that this person had. So it's like ultimately I've ended up becoming my own dad. So what you want to do is you want to, as a starting place, you want to create some kind of an inventory or a bucket list, really literally, where you're going to bring in what you call the positive and the negative. And then take a moment to just appreciate it. Because the truth is, even those things that you call negative, the truth is, they were really just an invitation for something new to be birthed. In the same way in which in life, in nature, nothing is ever really lost. Oftentimes what we call manure or the shed of life, that stuff that happens, it really is the manure or the fertilizer that ultimately gives birth to new life. 7 years ago, I remember I came to South Africa after having experienced a really relatively successful career in the television industry and film industry in Los Angeles. And during that time, I in a matter of a week, I basically lost my job. My mother passed away. I was mugged on the street. and I was in a country in South Africa where I didn't know anybody. So, it almost seemed like if you would have spoken with me during that time, I would have told you this is not only been the worst year of my life, but this has been a shitty year. But the truth is, I would not be who I am right now. I would not be doing what I'm doing right now had it not been for those experiences, because it was in the middle of all that shit that, spiritually speaking, we refer to as the dark night of the soul. The truth is, I began to reconnect with an aspect of myself that I had given up on, or forgotten, or kept hidden, or running away from for a very long time. So what you call the shit that you may have experienced this year, what if it's just exactly that? What if it can be then the fertilizer upon which 2015 is going to be built? So that is the first thing that you need to do if you want to really begin to clear the negativity that you experienced this year. And in today's process, I'm going to help you, find that place of love and appreciation. Because the truth is, at the end of the day, it's about learning to understand that nothing that happened this year was an accident. Nothing. That when you began this year, you were exercising throughout the entire year your capacity as a creator to create your year. And so you created the best year that you could, given the tools, your level of awareness, or whatever you are in life. But that as you grow and begin to take back your power, your ability to create your own life, moment to moment to moment, by the choices that you make, you can make 2015 a completely different kind of a year. But again, the process begins by beginning to extend love and appreciation to what already happened this year, and begin to see that as the fertilizer. Okay, so give thanks for the shit that happened this year. That is the best way that I can really sum it up. And even though it may sound like a bit of a cliche, it really ultimately is about extending love and compassion to yourself. And as I was just saying just a moment ago, learning to see that everything that happened this year happened for a reason. It may have been remnants of past decisions that you've made, or levels of awareness that you may have experienced of lack or limitation, but whatever that may be, learn to see it as just what had to happen. Okay? And that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be. And that right here, right now, at this moment, you're also making a decision to grow yourself, to make different choices, and to start connecting with that aspect within yourself that I call the heart, that inner sense of love, joy, compassion that lives within you, out of which I believe you can start creating a new reality, a new life, a new year, a year in which you can finally step into your full power and full awareness of who you really are. So the second question we're looking at today is, then once you have learned how to embrace and transcend the negativity of 2014, then see that that's just really the fertilizer for the beautiful garden that you're going to be planting on 2015, that what really unblocks or unlocks this thing that everyone traditionally calls the law of attraction really is the electromagnetism of your heart. And this may be a new concept to you, because up until this time, whenever people talk about the law of attraction, very few people talk about the heart. A new movie came out this year called The Power of the Heart that you can actually watch on Amazon, buy the DVD, and it focuses on an aspect of the law of attraction that was really left out of by many teachers, and even in the movie The Secret, which is the emotional guidance systems that we all have, how our hearts and our capacity to feel love, joy, and appreciation. It's ultimately what actually activates the law of attraction. You may not know this, but we have feelings and we have thoughts. Now, thoughts are primarily electrical impulses of energy, whereas emotions are primarily magnetic impulses of energy or waves. Okay, so your heart is way more than just a pump. It actually generates between 5,000 and 6,000 times more electromagnetic power than the brain does. And what that means is that the true organ for attraction is not just the brain. It's 5,000 times more than the brain, the heart, because the heart is really what creates the magnetism, the power that then draws things, events, circumstances into your life. And then, so then the key then to unlocking or unblocking the law of attraction then is that you learn how to access the power of your heart. And what that means exactly is learning how to connect with the energy of love, appreciation, and joy that lives within you. If you think of emotions as calibrating different levels of energy, well, at low levels of energy, you have fear and anger and shame. And then at the middle levels of energy, you have neutrality, and you start moving towards reason and love and appreciation and joy. So it is your ability to connect with that sense of love, appreciation, and joy that ultimately does what was referred to even in the movie The Secret as the raising your vibration. Raising your vibration literally means increasing this electromagnetism of your heart. So the key is then learning how to find that place of joy, love, and appreciation within your heart. So by extending that love and appreciation, and especially to yourself for this year, and understanding that you did the best that you could with what you had, by being loving, gentle with yourself, learning to appreciate where you are right now on your journey, you begin to then to unblock the law of attraction. And my intention in the next few moments is just to give you what are the steps that you have to take if you really want to create a life from your heart. So to share with you what those steps are, let me come back here and open up the slide presentation so I can show you. By the way, I forgot to mention that these slides, if you want to have them, they're right below the video. You'll see a link where you can download them. Okay. All right, here we are. Okay, so the process of learning how to manifest or create a new reality from your heart, as I love to teach it because it's the way that makes the most sense to me, and not only that, but it also feels right. It's a 9-step process that it's the same process that I teach in my Manifesting from the Heart program, okay, which is an online course that you can have access to if you go to my website. And the 9 steps begin by creating a vision. All right, it's one of the key resources or key actions that if you really want to create a new 2015, it's important that you begin by creating a vision of the kind of year that you want to have. So let me ask you, what kind of a year would you like 2015 to be? What would you love? For you to have the most incredible 2015, what would it have to look like? What would it feel like? What would it sound like for it to be the most incredible year? So the process begins there. It begins by you getting a very clear, not just a mental picture, but an emotional picture, a visual picture of whatever it is that you want to create or manifest in this coming 2015. So then you can move to step 2, which is getting clear on setting your heart on it, which is really, I just simply call it the heart set. And setting your heart on it is really about getting clear about what are the key feelings or the core feelings that are driving your vision for this year. In other words, what are the highest values? What are the feelings that you value the most? Well, what is it that you believe that by having this kind of a year, you're going to get to feel or experience more of? Okay, so just to give you an example, for me, one of my top 3 values in life are love, creativity, and freedom. And so as I'm creating my vision for every year, what I look at is focusing on setting my heart on creating activities or engaging in projects where I get to experience more love, creativity, and freedom, where I get to not only experience it, but also express it. So that's the second step, or the second ingredient. The third thing you want to do is now develop the mindset. And sure, that means that you have to have the thoughts or the beliefs, but beyond that, it really means your mind has to be able to allow it. You have to be able to allow it. So right now, if I were to give okay, I'm gonna just come back to the slides. Okay. Okay, good. All right, so we were talking about a strategy. So what is the strategy then that you need to put in place that is going to help you manifest the vision that you want to create for 2015? And this is really the step-by-step planning, okay? And there are many tools that you can use in creating a strategy. My favorite one is working with some kind of a mind map that will help you just simply plan out how are you going to get there. And then number 5, you have to put in some practices in place. You have to develop the muscles, in essence, that are going to help you get there. Your vision, there's a reason why it hasn't been manifested yet. And in my experience is because you haven't built the muscles yet. So one of the muscles that you may need to develop, for example, might be developing greater commitment. So what are some of the practices that you can put into place? Perhaps it's patience. Perhaps it's more relational skills. Perhaps it might be a physical practice of like yoga, or a more internal practice like meditation. So what are those practices that are going to help you develop then the skills that ultimately are going to help you build your vision? Okay. Next, you want to develop use the power of the heart for developing the focus. Learn how to access the intuition, and then ultimately start taking action. Okay. If you notice, this whole right side of this heart is all really about action, but not just any kind of action, but inspired action, or an action that in essence comes from a place of joy, an action that it comes from a place of alignment of whatever it is that you want to create. So the invitation here is that you start acting with congruency with whatever it is that you want to create in this coming year. So if all you do is, from the beginning of 2015, for example, is just to start acting with congruency with what you want to create in your life, miracles can actually begin to happen into your life that will ultimately lead to step 9, which is manifestation. Right? That is also a step. It has to be a step in the manifestation process. So if you downloaded the worksheets that I included as part of today's training, you'll notice that I'm adding something. There's the 3rd page is called Manifesting from the Heart Canvas, which is actually part of the Manifesting from the Heart course. In this course, I take you through 7 lessons where we go in depth about how to answer the key questions for these areas. But what you can do is you can take these downloads and just begin to write your own thoughts or ideas about your vision. What is it that you want to create? What are the key core feelings behind your vision? Would you allow that right now? What is your strategy? What are the practices that you need to put into place? What is it that you need to be focusing on? What is your intuition telling you? What are the next action steps that you have to take in order to manifest? So this becomes a really wonderful and powerful tool, okay? And then in addition to this, what you may want to be looking at is what is it that's draining you right now? You know, I find in my work as a coach that one of the reasons why a lot of people procrastinate and they don't take action on the manifestation of their vision is because at this moment there are many things, people, events, activities, habits that are draining you of your energy. So what is it that's draining you right now? And likewise, what is it that energizes you instead? Okay, so that you can now start creating some kind of a plan of what is it that you need to start doing more of that will replenish you, and what are those activities, people, places that you need to stop frequenting, and what is it that you're already doing that it's helping you get there? What is it that you're already doing that is working? Okay, I know many people I'm regular in conversation with who are part of this community. This particular year of 2014, you have began some very deep, powerful practices. So it's important that you stick to them, that you maintain those practices. Okay. All right, I'm going to come back to the video over here. Okay. All right. I'm seeing my name backwards on the video, so you may be seeing this video backwards. I'm not sure what's doing that, but okay, it's just what it is. Might be a thing with Google Hangouts, but let's not let that distract us. All right, so what I like to do now is just to invite you now to consider a new possibility as you move into 2015. And as I know, what I'm sharing right now up until now, it's a lot of like how-to information, and it's a lot of just a lot of theory. Okay, but I want you to take a few moments right now to just really think about where you are right now in life, and just ask yourself, what is the most amazing thing that I could create in 2015 in my life? What is the most amazing thing that I could create in my life for 2015? And in preparation for the process that I'm going to be guiding you in just a few minutes, if you have a piece of paper or something that you can write with, I'd like you to write down at least 4 things that you would love to create or manifest in 2015. So what would you love to create that you haven't had a chance to experience yet? Is it a new loving relationship? Is it a new business? Is it an increase in your income? What is it that you would love to create? Okay. So take a few moments to just get clear about what those 4 things are, at least 4 things that you want to create in preparation for the process I'm going to be guiding you through. And then notice as you're thinking about this right now, just notice in particularly what are the thoughts or the feelings that are coming up for you as you are connecting with what these things are, what these dreams are, what these visions are, what these goals are. Okay, good. All right, so now that you have clear about what are those 3-4 things that you want to create in your life in 2015, what I'm going to do now is teach you a very simple technique to begin to increase the electromagnetism of the heart in preparation for the heart activation, the sacred heart activation. And this is called heart tapping, okay? And the technique is quite simple. It begins by taking your hand, it doesn't matter which one it is, and by gently tapping right in the sternum. The sternum is just that place right above the heart to the right. You know, some people call that the higher heart. Some people even refer to it as the sacred heart. Okay, and just begin by tapping. And you can tap either with a fist this way, or you can just use your fingers. Okay, and what you're going to do, you're just going to start gently tapping, 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 tapping. Now, as you're practicing this tapping right now, You may be excited to know that that when you do this, you are actually stimulating the thymus gland. And so what you're also doing is you are boosting your immune system. And as you're also doing this, you're creating feelings of relaxation. You're allowing your right and left brain to communicate more efficiently. And you're actually allowing your heart electromagnetism to increase, expand, allowing for more emotions to flow through your subtle body system. And now what I want you to do is just think of something or someone that you love and appreciate as you keep on tapping. And then to finalize, you're going to use the words ha, ha, as you tap. And it's going to sound something like this. Ha, 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 ha. And again. Ha, 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 ha. One more time. Ha, 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 ha. And then you can now stop the tapping and then just simply notice how you feel. So this heart tapping technique, the technique that, as I just said, helps you boost your immune system, expand your heart's electromagnetism, and actually allow for even emotional, negative emotions to flow through your system a lot faster. You can almost think of this technique as spiritual first aid, or as a way to just really get into your body. So for example, if you have an exam, if you're about to have an important conversation with somebody, or you've just been feeling really down and depressed, one of the things you can do is just tap in your heart, tap into your heart, tap into your heart. And if you're familiar with EFT and you're trained in EFT, or you've done some EFT tapping before, you can actually use some of the EFT wording and phrases as you tap into your heart. And you may want to say something like, even though I'm feeling anxious about the situation, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. Or even though I feel ashamed about an aspect of my life, I choose to love and accept myself anyway. So heart tapping is a wonderful way to bring you into your body, to increase and boost your immune system, to actually help you process negative emotions, and to just overall experience greater well-being. Okay, so just notice from this tapping that we've been doing, what has changed, what's different. Is anything change? Is there anything different? All right, so what I like to do now is just now move us into the Sacred Heart activation. And just to talk to you a little bit about what this process really entails. The heart is pretty much the only organ that really has this multi-level of intelligence, and you can say that there is something that we call the physical heart, which is your heart that beats. It's just the muscle that pumps blood, keeps you alive. It is also the muscle or the organ that keeps all the other systems synchronized. It is also the seat of the emotions. Therefore, we can also refer to it as the emotional heart. It is the seat of what most people would call emotional intelligence. Heart intelligence, it's different than emotional intelligence. Heart intelligence is actually when the heart brings the entire body, mind, body, emotions, and even the spiritual connection all into one level of awareness, or one expanded level of awareness. Then there's a spiritual heart, which is a spiritual heart that our spiritual traditions have always referred to and talked to as the true center of wisdom, or guidance, or the place where the soul resides. Okay, so the Sacred Heart activation, it's really an activation of that spiritual heart, using the physical heart, using the emotional heart, so that by energizing that spiritual aspect or quality of the heart, we increase the connection between the heart and the mind, or the heart and the brain. So that as you then begin to increase this connection via the vagus nerve, actually vagus nerve is on this side, by the vagus nerve, what you're actually doing is then you're harmonizing the mind and the heart so that they become entrained, and so that you can now activate a higher level of functioning that the HeartMath Institute calls coherence, or you can also just simply refer to it as wholeheartedness. And I actually prefer to use the word wholeheartedness, because to me, wholeheartedness means wholeness through the heart. Okay. So, in preparation for this Sacred Heart activation, what I'd like you to do is find an even more comfortable space than the one you're in right now. And that may mean you adjusting the body slightly, or it may mean just simply removing any thoughts, or allowing any thoughts that are moving through you to just simply pass through. But what I want you to do is just find a place of just surrendering more into this moment. And you can do this by beginning to just give your physical body the order to relax. And so we begin with the head. And we just simply say head, relax. And move down to the neck, and we say neck, relax. Into the shoulders, shoulders, relax. The chest relaxes. The stomach relaxes. The arms relax. The pelvic area and the area where the genitals are relaxes. The legs relax. And then notice as you're experiencing a deeper sense of relaxation, that there are thoughts being thought. So allow every thought. It's okay for every thought to just simply be part of this experience and to participate in this activation. And then just notice, what is it that you're feeling right now? And then as you observe that feeling that you're feeling right now, notice that behind that feeling there is like an energy or a power. So just notice what that power or that energy behind that emotion is. So focus on that energy and that power of that emotion, or behind that emotion. Just feel appreciation for it. And feel appreciation for yourself. Appreciating that emotion, the power behind the emotion, the energy behind the emotion. Now stay with that feeling of love and appreciation as you just gently take a few moments to contemplate some of the key experiences that you had this year during 2014. And as you remember or evoke some of these experiences, just allow them all into your heart. All the positive ones, all the negative, just allow them into your heart. Extending this feeling of love and appreciation. And even if at any moment you feel some kind of a sense of sadness or loss, if you experience a loss this year, just breathe into your heart. And if emotion is actually quite strong, one of the things that you can do as you're doing this, you can gently tap on your heart. Breathing love and appreciation through all the different events, circumstances, experiences for 2014. And then just notice that there is lots of space within your heart. That all of these experiences from 2014 have been allowed, and that you can feel love and appreciation for them. Even if an aspect of you thinks or believes that they don't deserve it, but you go ahead and allow and extend it, that love and appreciation anyway. And now what we're going to do is, I want you to think of this love and appreciation, this feeling of love and appreciation, almost as moving or expanding from your heart and beginning to travel from your heart through this vagus nerve. So if you think of it as moving towards the throat, so give yourself permission to now feel and breathe into the throat. And if you want to, you can tap as well. Tapping also activates the different meridians that move along the body. And as you know, our heart center areas, our heart chakra, is the meeting place from the lower and the higher chakras. So you can also tap along the throat as you activate and extend that feeling of love and appreciation. And then slowly just feel that energy of love and appreciation beginning to travel towards the center of the head. And if you want to, why not? You can tap on your head if you want to. Why not? And if you want to tap on your head, you got to use all fingers. Okay, so just tap on your head. If you want to tap on both your head and your heart at the same time, that also works. So imagine or visualize or feel the connection between your heart and your head, your heart and your brain. And you can imagine it almost as a circular energy just being activated. And then focus your attention on the top of your head. And imagine that the top of your head, just like a flower, can open up. A beautiful rose is just opening up right now. And as it opens, it begins to receive the love and the light for the universe itself from that central place of the universe. that is the source of all wisdom, all love, all guidance. And then allow that, all that love, all that light, all that divine wisdom to now flow through your head and through this connection that you're now establishing between your head and your heart, or your brain and your heart, to start moving down into the heart as it continues to just to circulate, creating almost like a circular pattern between the heart and the brain, heart and the mind. Setting the inward intention to now, this moment, activate consciously the heart and mind connection. As you welcome this sacred energy of the heart, harmonizing all systems. Now, from this place of greater connection between your heart and mind, having activating the divine qualities of love and light within you, I want you to now to radiate, to send this love and appreciation that you're experiencing right now into the future. Just like that Sting song says, sending your love out into the future. And you're going to send this love out into the next few months of 2015. So if you already have projects that you've put down in your calendar that you know you're going to be working on, just send this love and appreciation to all these projects. If you made the commitment to manifest your soulmate this year, then radiate this love out into the future of this relationship. I know that even though you may have not met yet in the flesh, but that we are connected to every being in this universal matrix. That right here, right now, by sending your love out into the future, you're sending that person love. And then wherever they are, whoever they are feeling it right now. Sending love out into the future, to your projects, to friends you haven't met yet, to people who haven't come into your life yet. Sending it out to yourself as well. So you can imagine sending it out to that version of yourself. If you want to lose weight, for example, imagine yourself having lost the weight, being in the shape that you truly want to and wish to be in, and radiating that love to that person. Sending your love out into the future to all those projects, goals, visions that you want to manifest, people that you would love to be in a relationship with, places that you would like to go and visit, trips you'd like to take. And then finally, just take a few moments to just come back once again to this moment and bring that same feeling of love and appreciation to yourself right here and right now. Know that right this moment, right where you are, the presence of divine love is. And that this process that you have just experienced, this sacred heart activation, has now increased communication, wisdom, and guidance you receive through your heart, as both your heart and your mind now have become more receptive to the wisdom and the love of the divine, allowing you to have greater access to more insights, more ideas, more healing, greater clarity of vision. They're going to allow you to manifest the vision that you know in your heart you came here to manifest. Okay, so you can open your eyes now. And then just notice if anything has shifted, what's different. How are you feeling? So let me ask you, what new insights or ideas came up for you during this guided process, or during the brief chat that we had at the very beginning of this webinar? What were the key insights? What did you learn? And as you contemplate these, I would love it if you can just email me or post your comment below this video and just let me know what you got from this brief experience. As I said at the very beginning of our time together, my intention today was just more than giving you a whole bunch of information, was to give you an experience to help you feel more love and appreciation for the amazing person that you are and for where you are right now along your own journey. And today, it's a wonderful day to be doing this work, not just because it's the solstice, but because we're also really entering into what I would call a sacred, holy time, when the energies of divine love or the Christ consciousness, whatever you want to call it, are really high in this planet. And so this is a wonderful time to not only to connect with these energies, but also to be surrounded by people that you love, and to start setting really powerful intentions for the next few months for you to move to the next level of your development, whatever that may mean for you. And understand that that this process of growing and developing, it ultimately, more than acquiring anything new, it's really about releasing and letting go. I began this conversation talking about how in the past few weeks I've had to let go of my office. Well, I didn't have to. I made that choice, right? And in essence, it's because whatever it's taking you to get to where you are right now today, it's normally what's going to keep you stuck there. So unless you let go of those structures that help you get where you are right now, those habits, there's not really room for the new to come into your life. So when you think of this process as just being the natural process of life itself, we have a tendency to look at like, well, here's 2014, it just ended, now there's 2015, and we look at it sort of like linearly. And the truth is, in life, in nature, things don't happen like that. We go through cycles. The solstice is just simply the day where it's the shortest day in the year in the northern hemisphere. So from this point forward, the light returns, the days begin to get longer. So nothing really changes in one day. It's a progression. So who you are right now, it's really, you are in the process of evolution, growth, and progressing. Just like you don't have one season and then suddenly the next season shows up the next day, but you have all these days, like in between, that are kind of a mixture. Likewise, who you are and who you are becoming, it follows the same pattern of nature. That's why we can say, growth, like the process of growth is like a tango. It's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back. The movement into a new season kind of like happens like that, 2 warm days and a cold day. All right. So it's important that you learn to just embrace that by just simply being here today and gaining great clarity about this sacred connection that you have within your own heart, you can extend that love and appreciation to yourself for where you are right now along your journey. And also understand more than any other time in the year, if you're going to be surrounded by family, that the shifts that we are experiencing in our planet, and these things that you are experiencing right now, everybody's feeling them too. So it's an even more important reason to extend that same love and compassion to your family and to people that you're going to be spending time with over the next few days. Okay, so I promise you that at the end of our time together, and we just have a couple of minutes left, I was going to share with you a gift and an offer. And I'm just going to open up quickly here the slides. Okay. And just to let you know that on the last page of this slide presentations that you can download, I've included a very special holiday gift for you. So what it is I'd like to give you free access to the first 2 lessons of the Manifesting from the Heart online course that I just released about 2 months ago. Okay. So if you like to just go deeper into this process or this 9 steps of manifesting from the heart that I went through very quickly today, and just take a deeper dive and download the worksheets and the slide presentations that comes with the course, then go to this link, www.heartintelligencecoach.com/holiday gift. Okay, and then you can sign up and you can partake on those first 2 classes if you like. And then, of course, if you enjoy the course and you want to complete the rest of the course, then you'll see links where you can do that. And then finally, as a special offer, if you're fully committed to making 2015 the year in which you fully step into the power, your power as a courageous leader, and you want to start creating a life that you know in your heart that you're here to live, please email me. Email me at gabriel@gabrielgonzalez.com. And I would love it if you could tell me a little bit more about where you're up to, okay? And if what you're up to really inspires me, then I'll be more than happy to create space in my diary for us to have a complimentary coaching conversation in which I'm just going to try to help you to the best of my ability, okay? All right, cool. All right, so this, we've come now to the end of our time together. So if there's anything that I would love you to just take out of the time together, is that your heart, your ability to connect with your inner source of wisdom, love, guidance, and compassion is really one tap away, okay? And that tapping into your heart physically, it's a wonderful way to tap into your heart emotionally, and then also spiritually, okay? The combination of the heart and the breath into the heart at any moment can literally help you make the right decision, come back into your body, not send that email when you're going to send it because you're angry, and ultimately, little by little by little, help you make much more powerful, loving choices that ultimately are going to transform your life, okay? Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to connecting with you again very, very soon. Have a blessed holiday season. All right, bye-bye.